So there's 4 different types of teeth. Got your molars back here, premolar, canine, and incisor. The difference, I know sometimes these can be a little tricky to tell apart. Incisor is going to be pretty much flat all the way across, and canine will have a slight kind of peak to it. If you open each of these up, I'm only going to do one. You're able to see the enamel, which is the white, the dentin, which is cream colored here, the pulp, which is red, and this is the root. It doesn't show the entire root inside of the tooth, but you can see the outermost region of the root. The other side shows you the pulp cavity, or where the pulp actually resides. If you look at a molar, or a wisdom tooth, you can see how the pulp travels down into the root. So this is the root section of the tooth. If you're looking at the outer section, you have the crown, which is the visible portion of the tooth, the neck, which is embedded in the gingiva or the gum, and you have the root, which is most of the time impacted in the bone. This is canine, this is premolars shown here. Premolars are basically baby molars. They're kind of half the size of a regular molar, but they will still only have 1 root, while a molar will have 2. Moving on to the salivary glands, I'm just going to hold this one up. This is showing you the 3 salivary glands. The largest is the parotid, which is shown here. Then you have submandibular and sublingual, which rests beneath the tongue. They each have ducts that drain into the mouth where saliva comes or exits the gland. This is the parotid duct. You have multiple sublingual ducts, and you have 1 submandibular duct that exits near the lingual frenulum, which is shown there, or underneath the tongue. Okay, moving on to the GI tract on this model. So here we have the oral cavity, so this is where digestion first takes place. You have ingestion inside the mouth. You have a little bit of, we have mechanical digestion going on here, the process of chewing or mastication, and then partial chemical digestion, salivary amylase, which is secreted by the salivary glands, starts to break down carbohydrates. You then pass into the esophagus, which is again posterior to the trachea. The esophagus is not responsible for any absorption or secretion, and food here is now called a bolus, and it moves through the esophagus by peristalsis. It reaches the stomach and passes through the cardiac region of the stomach through the cardiac sphincter. This is the fundus portion of the stomach, the top. You have the body here, pylorus antrum, pylorus region, and here is where you'll have your pyloric sphincter. The folds here are called rugae, and here you have mechanical digestion. You have 3 muscle layers, which is on another model, which I will show, and you have chemical digestion of protein by pepsin in the presence of HCl, protein being broken down into smaller polypeptide chains. Further down the GI tract, you have the duodenum. I'll talk about accessory organs later. The duodenum, in the small intestine, you have jejunum, and then you have ileum here. Food here is now called chyme. You can see all of the intestine, it's a different color for each portion of the intestine. I'm assuming, and I could be wrong in my assumption, that this is the duodenum, this is jejunum, and this is ileum, since it exits here. This is the ileocecal valve. You have the ileum of the small intestine merging with the cecum of the large intestine. You can see where the appendix is attached to the cecum. You have your ascending colon here, your transverse colon here, and your descending colon until it becomes your sigmoid colon and your rectum and anus. Each of these here are called a haustrum, or hostrum, however you want to pronounce it. This band here of connective tissue is called the tinea coli. It is present throughout the large intestine. These flexures that are present here, I'll move this in a second. This is the right hepatic flexure, no, I shouldn't say that. The right colic flexure or hepatic flexure, and this is the left colic flexure or splenic flexure. This is removed. Yes, I was correct that is duodenum. Okay. And here, the only thing that you're seeing is rectum and anal sphincters. This is the external anal sphincter present there. Moving on to, do you want to pause while I do a